little doggies who perhaps bark too much? Do you have a teenage doggy who's been getting into a little bit of trouble? In this video, I'm going to talk about stopping unwanted behavior, like jumping on doors or barking excessively when a contractor arrives.
Hello, I'm Sean Kent Hayashi with SVCC Toy Schnauzers and Schnoodles.
You know those days where you have a contractor coming to the front door, or maybe they'll be working around the side of your house. Maybe your landscaper is making a lot of noise. My friend Maria called me recently and told me that she has a little doggy who barks too much, and she wanted my advice. The first step before we talk about what to do with unwanted behavior is to show you what to do with good behavior. Yes. Yes, Sierra. Yes, Caviar. Yes, Honeybee. These doggies have been on a several-minute stay, and they are continuing to hold their stay beautifully. So I say, yes, I'm marking that they are doing something well, and they understand the word yes means keep doing that. Yes. It's very important to teach your dog to follow a lure and to understand that your marker word for the behavior you want is yes. So I can put my dog into a stay, and then I can say, yes, stay. And my dogs know that the word yes means I like your behavior. If what I'm saying is new to you, I have 3 videos on my channel specifically about teaching a dog or a puppy to follow a lure, and it will show you how to create a marker word like yes that tells your dog you're doing what I want you to continue. I will put a link to these videos in the show notes below. My friend Maria here is visiting with me, and we have been talking about a new tool, a new device, we could say, that I've been using that I think Maria is going to really appreciate. We are going to show you really quickly here the power of this tool in deterring bad behavior. And then in this video, we're going to go much more into depth on how to use this. Isn't she a doll? Oh my goodness, we just love little Miss Caviar so much. But Caviar's a teenager, and so sometimes we have to correct her. I'm pretty sure that Brianna has just arrived and that she might be on the other side of that door. The reason I say that is because Caviar seems very excited to see her. But notice, Caviar is not jumping on the door. That's because when Caviar started jumping on the door, I pressed this button and she immediately, here we go. There we go. That's what it looks like. Yes, Caviar. Yes. So she's not jumping on the door. Yes, Caviar, because she's gotten a correction when she did jump on the door, and I really don't want her jumping on the door. So this is yet another way that you can use this device to deter behavior you do not want a teenager doing. So thank you, Caviar. Yes, good girl. Yes, Caviar. This is what it looks like when they arrive. So the pet behavior corrector, Paw Behave, is the brand name. This is what the device itself looks like right out of the box. On my website, svcctoys.com, you'll see a button here, Shop. On this page, you will see our favorite things, including this. The back of the box says ultrasonic devices have been used to train dogs since 1876. Paw Behave is the first brand to develop adjustable ultrasonic pet training devices. Like humans, about 2% of dogs may not respond even to a combination of ultrasound, sound, and strobe light. If your dog falls into this category, scan this code for solution. Before you begin using something like this, you need a way to cue your dog that they are doing what you want them to do. My dogs are having so much fun playing fetch, we call it get that toy, with Maria. But we were talking about what to do with unwanted behavior. So when a dog is doing something that you don't want it to do, for example, when we are teaching quiet, when we teach puppies quiet, we're interrupting their barking or talking with a squirt bottle, a water bottle. Let me show you what I mean. Every playpen that I have a water bottle that I use to get their attention if they're doing something that I want them to stop. So this is a spray water bottle, and it does not hurt at all. I've sprayed it on myself to make sure that the stream isn't too strong. But you can see that they have been drinking their water over here. They were just outside. We brought them inside, and they say, hey, it was hot out there. Yeah, it was hot today, wasn't it? So they've been drinking. And if I needed to get their attention to stop something, one way of doing it is making a particular sound, like a "n" or something like that, that gets their attention, that stops them, "n," like that. But I don't need to do that right now because what they're doing is absolutely okay. But if they were making a noise that I didn't want them to make, I could squirt the water bottle at them, and then when they are quiet, I could say, yes, quiet. Now, these puppies have learned that they will not get out of this playpen if they are making noise. So if they're whining or barking, they don't get out of the playpen. And so they've learned what quiet is, and they know and they can apply the phrase quiet in lots of different situations now. So not just in this playpen, but if I'm outside, if we're on a stroller walk, they know what quiet is. But let's say you want to up the ante. Let's say you need to go beyond the water bottle for some reason. I've had some people say to me, hey, I've got a dog that's a teenager now, and I need something that's a little bit more than the water bottle. Or some people will say to me, I'm not always able to bring a water bottle along to the farmer's market or some of the places that we like to go. So what could I do in that situation? What I'm going to show you is not something I would have you do with little puppies this age. So these puppies right here, they just had some salmon. They said, oh, that was so yummy. We liked that salmon, didn't we? So these puppies right here are 9 weeks old. Say, I'm 9 weeks old. And at 9, 10, 11, 12 weeks old, we want to be teaching them to do the right thing. And we can divert their attention, divert what they're doing if they're doing something that isn't what you want them doing. But again, once they get to that teenage age, if we need to escalate what we're doing, then what I'm going to show you next will do that. And so these dogs right here are at that stage. They're going to be going home you're going to have graduated. You've graduated from puppy prep school. And so what might your mom do if she needs to correct you? This is the tool that I recommend if you have an older dog, a teenage dog, and you need to get its attention to correct its behavior. So how do you use this? Well, if a dog was barking in a situation where you did not want the dog to bark, you need to get the dog's attention and then use this device as the way to get the dog's attention. We're going to show you today what that looks like. So here's the big test. Now, if the little ones are making noise, we're still working on that. But with Oscar, yes, quiet, Oscar. Editor Sean popping in here to say what's not obvious in this moment is that an HVAC contractor is literally walking behind me on the way to service our HVAC system. So imagine a contractor they've never seen before is walking right behind me, and I'm standing next to the puppy playpen. Yes, quiet, Fiona. Quiet. Yes, quiet. Yes, quiet, Fiona. All right, you still need to learn. We're still working on that with you. But with Oscar, yes, Oscar. Yes, quiet. Yes, quiet, Oscar. Yes. Yes, Fiona. Yes, quiet. So literally just a few feet away from them right now is a person they do not know who is working on our HVAC system. And you can see this is how we're teaching quiet. Yes, quiet. Good job, Oscar. Yes. I know. We still have to work with you two, with you three, actually. We've got some work to go. You all are a lot younger. But Oscar, you're doing great. I'm so proud of you. Yes, Oscar. Yes, quiet. Yes. Yes, quiet, Fiona. Yes. Yes. So you can hear lots of discussion going on about our HVAC system at the moment, and you are doing great. Good job. It's also occurring to me that as I reinforce quiet by holding up the camera like this, they may start to equate me holding the camera like this with quiet. This could also be part of the training technique. Aha. They're doing great. Yes, quiet. Yes, Oscar. Good boy. Oscar's being such a good boy, isn't he, Jim? Tomorrow, our little Mr. George will be flying on a very long flight to California. Anne will be picking him up at very early in the morning, let's just say before 6 a.m., I'm pretty sure. And then she will be spending the whole day with him on a plane. And so I thought if we went to the ABE airport and sat there with him for a little bit and used this device to show you how it works. So when he makes noise, barks, talks, and he's not supposed to, I'm going to show you what to do with this. But just to tell you a little bit about the functionality here, this button right here is a dog whistle that makes a noise that dogs particularly hear, and you can keep it quiet or you can increase the intensity of the noise by pressing the button. When a dog is barking, this button is the equivalent of the water bottle. So think of this button in the same way that you would use that water bottle, and you can take this into more public places to use this as you would have used the water bottle. This is a flashlight, so if you're out walking your dog at night and you want to use a flashlight to get the dog's attention, you can do so. And then this button right here just makes sounds. So it's a little bit like using it as a clicker almost to get the dog's attention with a sound, but I wouldn't want you to use this device as if it was a clicker. This is not a clicker. What's a clicker? Well, we use the word yes. My dogs are outside and I say, inside. Yes, inside. Yes, Sierra. Yes, Sierra. It means yes, keep doing what you're doing. Yes, you're doing the right thing. We would say yes, down, or yes, sit, as we're teaching a dog. But this is not a yes. This is the opposite. This is a no. This is what you're doing. You need to stop right now. And I recommend you use this one for that. I'm going to show you what it looks like. So we are taking George into the Allentown Bethlehem Airport here, getting him ready for his outing tomorrow. And when I say we, I mean my friend Maria and I, and we brought Liberty along too for the adventure. Here we go. Going into the airport. George handled going through the doors just fine, and he's seeing lots of new people that he's not seen before. This is one of the things that I like about coming to an airport and walking around with a dog in a stroller or in your hands, so that they get used to being in an environment like this where they're just seeing lots of people. So we're gonna go sit down over here for a few minutes and just let him get used to. We got Liberty here with us, so she's being our mentor dog to show him what it's like to just be calm and relaxed in a public environment. And if we need to, we've got this handy little device available. Just going to press this button, and that gives them a little bit of a signal, and it's a correction signal. And then when they are quiet, we can say, yes, quiet. Yes, quiet, George. Yes, quiet, Liberty. Liberty's such a good girl. You're being such a good mentor. Yes, you are. Good job, George. Yes. Yes. Position the stroller so that George can see lots of different people walking by. And he's doing a very good job here, as is Miss Liberty, of course. George, you'll be back here tomorrow morning on a flight to California to meet your new mommy. Yeah, we like to do everything we can to get you ready for that. And so just watching luggage roll by and watching new people. George is a good boy. George is a good boy. Yes. Yes, George. Wow, George, you have done so great. My hope is that you travel like this tomorrow with Anne. So we're going to go through another one of these doors that would be sort of new to him. And he's just doing fabulously. So, George, you'll be back tomorrow. Walking through the parking lot. Again, he's just being fabulous. I want to highlight something. Honeybee loves to stand outside, and she loves to survey everything going on here in our yard and the street beyond our home, all of that. And Honeybee is fabulous. Occasionally, she will make a bark noise to alert me that there's something I need to be aware of. But she doesn't just randomly bark to hear herself bark. None of my dogs just randomly bark to hear themselves bark. They bark to alert. So frankly, I never really need to use this with her. But if she were barking just incessantly, randomly kind of thing, then I would use this as a way to get her attention and then to say, yes, Honeybee, yes, quiet. Good girl, Honeybee, you're a quiet girl. Good girl, yes. So you want to reward the behavior that you want to see. I've been trying to stand out here for a while to see if she will bark at someone who is going by or at some of the landscapers or something, but she hasn't barked in such a way that would cause me to need to show you how and when I would use this. So that I want to really make it clear to you, you don't want your dog to never bark. You do want your dog to have the permission, the freedom to alert you if something's going on that you need to be aware of. So there's some runners going by back on the road behind us, and she is wanting to alert me. I can just tell by the way she's behaving. She's wanting to alert me that those runners are there. And so you hear the little, yep, I hear them. Thank you, Honeybee. Yes. When you communicate really well with your dog, they will start to cue you. There's something you need to know about, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they have to bark. Sometimes they'll just talk to you. So that little noise that she just made to alert me that there's something here you need to be aware of. And then I say back to her, yes, thank you. Got it. Thank you. Yes, quiet, Honeybee. Honeybee is one of the dogs that I would regularly use with puppies so that she's role modeling for them what great behavior looks like. So I can bring puppies out here with her where there are lots of sounds, noises, people going by. You can't see the people from here, but on the other side of our pine trees here in our backyard, there are people who walk by on a rail trail. There are cars, bicyclists, runners, and my dogs know they're there. We can sort of see them sometimes through the trees. We can hear landscapers regularly. Maybe there are landscapers outside in your yard working. So having her out here with the little puppies is a fabulous way to role model for them the behavior that we want to see. And little puppies learn faster if there is an older dog that they can use as their mentor role model. Reverse is also true, meaning if she were highly reactive, if she were barky, if there were issues with her behavior, I would not use her as a role model dog around my puppies. Caviar is a teenager right now, and so sometimes she does get a little barky if someone's going by, and I thought I would just see if I could capture that and what it looks like when I'm using this. But like with the squirt bottle, they know when I have the squirt bottle, and they know when I have this. So I'm recognizing this is actually a fabulous tool for reinforcing the behavior that I want to see just by carrying it around with me. I asked somebody to go out in my back area here behind my home and make some noise so that I could see if I could get them to bark for you, but they're not. So, oh my goodness. Because our dogs have been through our puppy prep school program and get so much reinforcement, the primary places that we experience barking are really only two areas. One, if somebody's coming down these steps and they weren't expecting it, or if our doorbell rings. And otherwise, it's very quiet here. The truth is, we often don't have much behavior that we need to correct. But the biggest thing that we will use these for is the barking when it is starting to become a issue and we want to quell it really fast. So I would not use this with tiny little puppies. With tiny puppies, I start with the water bottle. As I said previously, this would be what we use with puppies that are maybe 14, 15, 16 weeks and older. Before we say goodbye today, I thought you might like to see Coco and her two little boys that have recently gotten their tails docked. So again, they're just a couple days old. And he's nursing so well, I won't take him off. But two little boys here, little Schnauzer puppies. These two puppies are available and they could go through our puppy prep school program. So if you're interested in getting a puppy from SVCC Toys, please reach out to us. Fortunately, I work with some people who are much smarter than me. So Brianna looks at this thing, she says, oh, watch this. And somehow, maybe it's with her beautiful fingernails, she was able to just get it to point and go right through, but I was not. I tried. So there's how you get the wrist thing on, and I think that I will like it better with the wrist hanger on her. Also, it does not come with a plug into the wall, so you want to make sure you have one of these with this kind of, not sure what you call those, but the plug-in goes into this and then into the wall. Once a month, we host a live members-only event using Zoom. You can come Zoom with me, talk with me, get to know other people in our community. It's a really fun conversation where my intention is to help you think through, answer your questions. Again, you get to know other people, you get feedback and ideas, suggestions from other people. Who attends these? Well, our members include people who are puppy lovers, considering perhaps getting a puppy, people who already own our puppies and want to continue their training, people who are in our guardian program who co-own one of our dogs together, and they're sharing their experience of owning one of our breeding dogs, and also people who are breeding and training dogs regularly and like to share with people who are kindred spirits.
So we'd be delighted to have you join us. If you haven't already joined our channel, check out those options. You can press the join button and get all the information that you need to know about our channel. We'd love to have you become a part of our fur baby family.
If you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.